when the pillow is wet with tears. Dear God, tonight I don't come to impress you. I don't come with pretty words or righteous thoughts. I come undone, unraveled, quiet. There's nothing left in me to fix myself. There's no smile left to fake. The pillow is soaked again with the kind of tears I didn't even know I still had. I've been holding it in all day, saying I'm fine, acting like it doesn't hurt, laughing at things that barely move me anymore. And now that the world is asleep, it's just you and me. You see it all, don't you? The way I stare at the ceiling, wondering how it all turned into this. The way my chest aches from things I never say out loud. The way I feel like I'm too much and not enough at the same time. Lord, I don't need a miracle right now. I need you. I need you to sit beside me like a friend who doesn't ask for explanations. I need you to hold space for my silence, for the weight I can't name. I need you to not try to fix me right away. Just stay with me here. Because I don't know what to pray anymore. I don't know how to ask for what I need when I don't even know what's broken. But you know. You know the story behind every tear. You know the words behind the quiet. You know how hard I try, even when it looks like I've stopped. So God, if all I can give you tonight is this cracked voice and shaking breath, please take it. Please meet me here, right here, in this mess. And if someone else is listening tonight and crying into their pillow too, would you let them know they're not alone? Would you whisper to their heart, I see you. You are not forgotten. You are not failing. You are not invisible to me. Because that would be enough to survive another night. Amen.
God sees what others never notice. Dear God, everyone sees the outside, the clean clothes, the polite smile, the I'm fine that rolls off my tongue like muscle memory. But you see what I'm trying to hide. You see the flicker in my eyes when someone asks, how are you really? You see the hesitation in my breath when I'm asked to be strong again. You see how I carry the weight like it's nothing, even when it's everything. People see someone who's holding it together. You see someone who's holding on by a thread. People see the neat room. You see the mess in my mind. People see my hands working. You see them shaking when no one's looking. You know the truth I'm too afraid to speak. The fears I've tucked into the corners of my soul. The questions I don't ask anymore because I'm scared of the answers. You see the days I'm present, but not really alive. You see how I make it through only because I have no other choice. You know the pressure I put on myself, the guilt I carry for being tired, the shame I feel for not being better by now. Lord, thank you for seeing what no one else can, for not being fooled by my performance, for not being impressed by my perfectionism, for looking past all that and loving me anyway. Because sometimes what I need most is not someone to fix me, but someone who simply says, I see you. I don't need applause. I don't need attention. I need to be understood. And you, God, you understand me completely. You saw me when I was a child, before I learned how to hide, before I learned to silence myself to make others comfortable. You saw me when I was wide-eyed with wonder and scared of being too much. And you loved me then. You still do now. Even when I don't say a word, you hear the full story. Even when I don't cry out loud, you count every silent tear. Tonight, I don't need answers. I just need assurance that someone sees the battle I fight behind the smile. And you do. You've always seen it. Not just the loud breakdowns, but the quiet ones. The ones that happen on the bathroom floor at 3 a.m. with the lights off and the world asleep. You were there for those. You're still here now. Lord, I bring you this prayer not to impress you, but to let you know I remember that you see. When I'm overlooked by others, you look closer. When I'm dismissed, you draw near. When I'm unheard, you listen with compassion. So tonight, I lay it all before you. The invisible pain, the unspoken words, the quiet ache of being unnoticed. I give it to you because you're the only one who's never missed a moment of it. Amen.
Dear God, there's a kind of exhaustion that doesn't come from work. It comes from pretending, from nodding and smiling when I want to scream, from showing up for others when I don't even know how to show up for myself. But you notice that too. You notice how I shrink in a room so others can shine, how I stay quiet so no one feels uncomfortable, how I hold back tears so I don't become too emotional. You see how often I rehearse my responses just to sound okay, how I cancel plans because my heart isn't up for pretending anymore, how I scroll endlessly at night, not for fun, but to numb what I'm too afraid to feel. And still, no one notices, no one asks, no one sees what it takes just to get through the day. But you do. You see how long I stared at that message before deciding not to send it. You know why I don't reach out anymore. Not because I don't need people, but because I'm tired of feeling like a burden. You saw me cry in the shower. You saw me clench my jaw in the middle of a conversation just to hold myself together. You saw the moment I almost opened up and then didn't. You see the way my hope flickers like a candle in the wind, but you never let it die. And God, I need that right now. I need to know that you are still holding on to me, even when I'm barely holding on to myself, because it's easy to feel invisible in a world that only praises strength. Easy to believe I'm alone when no one else sees the storm inside me. But you do, and somehow that makes it more bearable. Lord, I don't need you to explain the pain. I just need you to sit with me in it. No fixing, no rushing, just presence. Because presence heals more than pressure ever could. Tonight, I need to be reminded that you're not disappointed in me for being tired, for feeling anxious, for not having the answers. You're not keeping a tally of how many times I've fallen. You're not grading my faith by how loudly I sing or how often I smile. You see the courage in my staying. You see the victory in my breathing. You see the faith in my whisper, God, I don't know what to do, but I trust you still see me. Even in the darkness, even when I feel numb, even when I feel like giving up, you are there, not beyond the struggle, but inside it, right here, in the room, in the silence, in the tear that's slipping quietly down my cheek right now. And so, tonight, God, I say this. Thank you for seeing me. Not the version of me I dress up for the world, not the filtered me, not the I'm fine me, but the real me, the trembling me, the one who isn't sure how to keep going. You've seen every version, and you've never looked away. You didn't flinch when I broke. You didn't withdraw when I questioned. You didn't leave when I went silent. You stayed, and that is more mercy than I ever knew I needed. Lord, as I rest tonight, help me believe it again, that even when no one else notices, you do. That even when I feel like I disappear the moment I close the door behind me, you are already inside, waiting, watching, welcoming me into your arms. Not because I'm perfect, but because I'm yours. And you see me still, always, faithfully. Amen.
The nights no one knows about, the hidden hours that hurt the most. Dear God, there are nights I survive that no one will ever know about. Nights when the weight of everything presses down so quietly, yet it crushes me like 1,000 unspoken fears. I sit in the dark, not crying loudly, but breathing with effort, trying to hold myself together with nothing more than sheer will. No one checks in. No one notices. No one hears the soft sobs buried deep in the pillow or sees the tears that dry before morning. They think I'm strong. They think I'm okay because I look okay. But you know the truth. You saw me curl up in the corner of my room, hugging a blanket like it was a lifeline. You watched me stare at the ceiling with empty eyes, wondering why everything hurts even when nothing is happening. You heard the quiet, "Why, God?" that slipped out when I thought no one was listening. You saw the hesitation in my hands when I debated reaching out, but didn't want to feel like a burden again. These nights don't come with answers. They come with exhaustion and silence and loneliness so thick it wraps around my soul like fog. But even here, in the most hidden hours, you are present. You don't turn away because the night is too quiet. You don't ignore me because I don't say anything out loud. You are the only one who enters these moments without needing an invitation. You are seen even in silence. Lord, thank you for being the one who doesn't need the whole story to know how much I'm hurting. Thank you for staying when others don't even know I need company. Thank you for hearing my heart when my mouth is too tired to speak. You are the God of the unseen hours, the God of the silent breakdown, the God who sits beside me without demanding a solution. Sometimes all I need is to be reminded that I'm not crazy for feeling this way, that grief can come in waves, even years later, that sadness can sneak in even on a day that started just fine. You remind me that I don't have to justify my pain to anyone, not even to you. And so tonight, God, I surrender the night itself, the silence, the ache, the unspoken prayers, the invisible battles, all of it, I place in your hands, because you are the only one who's never asked me to get over it or move on faster. You're the only one who simply stays without asking me to perform, and that means more than I can say. Lord, if there's someone else tonight lying in their bed, quietly unraveling like I am, would you whisper to them too? Would you tell them that they are not weak for feeling this, that they are not broken for needing rest,
needing peace, needing you. Let them know they're not alone in the night. Let them feel, somehow, some way, that you are near, and that's enough to make it through one more sunrise. Amen.
When strength has left the room, I don't feel strong anymore. Dear God, I used to be strong. At least that's what they said. They called me resilient. They admired how I held it together, how I kept smiling when things were clearly falling apart, how I pushed through pain without asking for help. But tonight, there's no strength left. None. I'm not holding it together. I'm not okay. And for once, I don't want to pretend. I'm exhausted in a way sleep can't fix, worn down by invisible battles, overwhelmed by the quiet pressure to be the dependable one, the positive one, the strong one. But what if I can't be that tonight? What if all I can do is sit here in this stillness and say, I'm not okay, God? Would you still come? Would you still sit with me even when I've dropped the mask, the performance, the faith-filled phrases? Would you still love me when I'm not inspirational? Because the truth is, I'm tired of being strong. I'm tired of being the one others lean on when I have nowhere to lean myself. So here I am, Lord, not strong, not put together, not brave, just real, just empty, just needing you to be enough for the both of us tonight. When all I can do is breathe. Lord, some nights, all I can do is breathe, not pray, not sing, not recite verses, just breathe. And I've been afraid that somehow that's not enough, that you'd be disappointed in how small my faith feels, and how weak I've become, and how many times I've whispered, I don't think I can do this anymore. But then I remember you never asked me to carry it alone. You never expected me to stay strong forever. You just asked me to come, as I am, even if all I bring is a breath and a bruise. So tonight, I bring you this moment, this weary body, this shaky voice, this broken version of me that has nothing to offer except honesty. And I trust that's all you've ever wanted. You don't demand strength to grant comfort. You don't require perfection to give peace. You meet me where I collapse. You draw near, not when I impress you, but when I admit that I need you more than ever. So please, Lord, sit with me tonight in this weakness. Be my breath when I can't catch mine. Be my calm when my mind is loud. Be my hope when my strength is gone. And if I wake up tomorrow, let it be because you carried me through the night, not because I was strong, but because you were faithful. Amen. Prayers without words, when I don't know what to say. Dear God, tonight I don't have a prayer to give you. No perfect sentences, no poetic words, no strength to string thoughts together. Just a heavy heart, a quiet room, a soul too tired to speak. I used to believe that silence meant distance, that if I didn't talk to you, you wouldn't stay. But now I know you're not like that. You don't walk away when the words run out. You don't need eloquence to understand my ache. You already know what's in my heart before I even try to name it.
So here I am, not talking, not explaining, not composing a perfect prayer, just sitting in the stillness, just breathing, just being. And somehow, I believe that's enough for you, because you don't love me for my vocabulary. You don't hear me because I speak clearly. You hear me because you're yours. And even when I don't say a thing, you stay close. My silence is still a song to you. Lord, if silence had a sound, you would hear it perfectly. You would know how loud it is when I lay on my side, staring at the wall, unable to form a single thought. You would know that behind every breath is a battle. Behind every tear is a need I don't know how to name. And you would listen anyway. Because to you, my silence is not empty. It's full of everything I don't have words for yet. My silence is still a prayer. Still holy, still held, still heard. You are the God who interprets sighs, who translates tears, who receives the offering of my wordless presence as worship. Tonight, I don't need to say it right. I just need to be real. So I offer you this quiet, this unspoken ache, this raw, unfinished cry. And I trust that you're not disappointed, but delighted that I still came to you even when I didn't know how. Let this stillness be enough. Let this quiet heart be met by your gentle grace. Because you've always heard me, even when I couldn't say a word. Amen.
The gentle voice in the dark. You don't shout over my pain. Dear God, thank you for not shouting at me in the dark. This world is loud. Loud with opinions, loud with expectations, loud with pressure to get over it, stay positive, and move on. But you're different. You don't yell over my silence. You don't demand I snap out of sadness. You don't preach at me when my heart can't hear. You just sit with me. Close, quiet, kind. There is no noise in you, only presence. And when I'm surrounded by shadows, you don't turn on blinding lights. You light a candle, soft, gentle, just enough for me to see that I'm not alone. That's what I need, Lord. Not solutions shouted from a distance, not advice from those who don't understand. I need you, your whisper, your stillness, your steady hand, reaching for mine in the dark. And I know you're already here. Your whisper is louder than my fears. Lord, sometimes I don't need a miracle. I need a voice. Not a voice that corrects me, but one that comforts me. Not a voice that tells me to try harder, but one that says, I'm with you, right here, still. That voice, your voice, is the only sound that settles my storms. You don't speak in thunder when I'm trembling. You whisper, because you know my soul is tender and raw and just barely holding on. You say things like, breathe, rest, I see you, you're still mine. And those words, though quiet, change everything. In a world that equates love with noise, you speak with gentleness. In a world that equates power with pressure, you bring peace. So tonight, let me hear you, Lord. Even if it's faint, even if it's just a feeling in the deepest part of me. Let me feel your whisper in the hush between sobs. Let me sense your nearness in the pause between thoughts. Let me believe that your gentle voice is louder than my fears and kinder than my own. Because if you're here, then I have enough to make it through the night. Amen.
Even here, you are loved. Love doesn't leave when I break. Dear God, I've always thought I had to earn love, that I had to be good enough, put together enough, faithful enough, inspirational enough. I thought love came when I succeeded and left when I disappointed. But you never loved me like that. You didn't start loving me on the day I prayed the perfect prayer. You didn't begin caring when I finally got my life together. You loved me before the mess, and you love me in it. Even here, in this moment, where I feel like a failure, like I'm falling apart again, you still love me. You haven't left. You haven't withdrawn. You haven't changed your mind. You love me on the days I cancel everything because I can't stop crying. You love me when I scroll endlessly, trying to escape the weight inside. You love me when I lash out, shut down, or go silent. You don't flinch when I feel broken. You draw closer. And that is the kind of love I never knew I needed. I am not too much for you. Lord, sometimes I feel like I'm too much, too emotional, too sensitive, too tired, too slow, too needy. I've seen people pull away when I needed more grace than usual, when I wasn't easy to love, when I asked for more than one word answers. So I started pulling away first, shrinking, apologizing, trying to become smaller so I wouldn't be a burden. But you don't see me as too much. You see me as deeply human and deeply loved. You don't roll your eyes at my repeated struggles. You don't grow tired of hearing the same prayer again and again. You don't get frustrated when I need reassurance one more time. You stay. You don't love the best version of me. You love this version. The one crying right now. The one questioning. The one trying. The one who came to you again, even if it's messy and unfiltered. And you whisper, even here, yes, here, you are loved. Not after you're better. Not once you prove yourself, but now, still, always. So tonight, I let that in, even if just for a moment. Let your love settle over the shame,
Let it quiet the guilt. Let it fill the spaces where I've felt abandoned. Because if you love me here, then maybe, just maybe, I can love me here too. Amen.
You don't have to pretend with God. I'm tired of acting strong. Dear God, I've spent so much of my life pretending I'm fine, pretending I'm not hurting, pretending I'm stronger than I am. I've learned how to smile with a breaking heart, how to say, I'm okay, with tears stinging behind my eyes. And for a while, I even convinced myself that being strong meant being silent, that weakness was something to be hidden, that faith meant always feeling peace. But God, I'm so tired. I don't want to perform tonight. Not for people, not even for you. I don't want to act brave when I feel afraid. I don't want to sound spiritual when my heart is confused. I don't want to say I trust you when I'm still full of doubt. So here I am. No act, no mask. Just me. Raw, unfiltered, afraid, and yet still hoping you'll meet me here. And I believe you will, because you've never needed the polished version of me. You've always loved the real one. You never asked me to fake it. Lord, you never asked me to fake joy. You never demanded that I be spiritually impressive. You never told me I had to hide my humanity in order to be holy. You just asked me to come. And so tonight, I bring you the honest version of me, the one I try to hide from others, the one that overthinks, the one that questions, the one that still cries about things no one else understands. And I know you won't turn away, because you don't need performance. You long for presence. You don't require strength. You honor surrender. You don't expect perfect prayers. You listen to trembling ones. God, help me unlearn the pressure to be someone I'm not. Help me release the need to impress you, because you're not waiting for me to get it all together. You're waiting for me to be real. So here I am, messy, uncertain, but willing to open my heart just a little more than yesterday. Let this honesty be enough. Let this bare soul be holy ground. Let me rest in the truth that I don't have to pretend with you. Because if you can handle the truth about me, then maybe I can start handling it too. Amen.
God is closer than the loneliness. This loneliness feels like it's swallowing me. Dear God, there's a kind of loneliness that doesn't come from being alone. It comes from feeling unseen, even when surrounded by people. From talking, but not being heard. From smiling, but feeling disconnected. From being present, but invisible. I carry it like a shadow, even in daylight, even in rooms full of laughter, even while sitting at the dinner table or walking through the store. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, but it's deep and it's heavy. And sometimes it convinces me that no one would notice if I disappeared quietly. But you, Lord, you notice. You've seen the empty chairs at my table. You've seen me staring at the phone, hoping for a message that never comes. You've watched me hold in tears so I wouldn't seem too much. And you've never looked away. Even in this ache that makes me question whether I matter at all, you are still near. You are already in the room with me. Lord,
You are closer than the breath I just took, closer than the thoughts that keep me awake, closer than the silence I'm sitting in now. You don't just visit the lonely, you dwell with them. You've made a home in the very places others avoid, in the shadows, in the hush, in the quiet rooms where no one else shows up. You are not afraid of empty space. You fill it. You are not overwhelmed by my isolation. You enter into it. You are not waiting for me to get better so you can be close. You're already here, now, in this very moment. So I breathe and I whisper, God, if you are here, let me feel you. Let your nearness press in until the loneliness loses its power. Let your presence be louder than the silence. Let your love wrap around this aching soul like a blanket in the dark. Because if you're here, I am not alone. Not truly. Not ever. And that truth, soft and small as it feels, is enough to keep me breathing tonight. Amen.
Hope rises slowly, but surely. When hope feels like a faint light. Dear God, hope doesn't always arrive like fireworks. It doesn't always shout. It doesn't always come rushing in like a hero to the rescue. Sometimes, hope is quiet, small, almost invisible. It comes like a flicker at the edge of despair, like the softest light under the door when everything else feels dark. And honestly, Lord, there are nights I struggled to believe in it, because I've been let down before. I've hoped and watched things fall apart anyway. I've believed and still felt alone. I've prayed and waited through silence. But tonight, even as I sit here unsure, even as my heart is cautious, there's a whisper deep inside me that says, don't give up just yet. I don't know where that whisper comes from. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's the part of me that still remembers you haven't failed me yet. You're still working, even in the dark. Lord, sometimes I think you're silent because you've left. But now I'm learning, silence is not absence. You are still working in the unseen, still healing in the background, still writing stories even when the page looks blank. Hope isn't a loud voice, it's a steady one. It stays when everything else walks away. It hums quietly in the heart when reason says it's over. And that's what I hold on to tonight. Not because I feel strong, not because the pain is gone, but because you're still here, still listening, still patient, still whispering promises over a life that feels messy and incomplete. I may not have a plan. I may not know what's next, but I have you. And because I have you, I still have hope. Even if it rises slowly, it rises. Even if I can't see the sunrise yet, the sky is already changing. So let me rest tonight knowing that light is coming. Not all at once, but enough. Enough for the next step. Enough for one more breath. Enough to know I'm not done yet. Amen.
You were never invisible to heaven. They may have overlooked me, but you didn't. Dear God, there were times I walked into a room and felt completely unseen. I've been the quiet one in the corner, the name they always forget, the story they never ask about. I've poured out my heart only to be met with silence. I've tried to matter, but somehow it always felt like I disappeared. And over time, I began to believe it. That maybe I wasn't important. That maybe I didn't make a difference.
that maybe my pain didn't count because no one noticed it. But you noticed. You never once passed me by. You never once forgot my name. You've been watching, not in judgment, but in love. You saw the tears no one else saw. You heard the prayers I was too ashamed to speak aloud. You knew every piece of me before I ever tried to be someone. And still, you chose to stay. I may have felt invisible on earth, but I've always been fully known in heaven. I matter to the one who made me. Lord, sometimes I wonder what my life adds up to. When the messages go unanswered, when my efforts feel unnoticed, when I show up again and again and no one seems to care. But you do. To you, I've never been just another face, just another voice in the crowd, just another soul wandering in the dark. To you, I am beloved, held, designed with purpose, covered in grace. You don't measure me by my popularity, my productivity, or my performance. You look at me and see someone worth dying for, someone worth saving, someone worth staying with, even in the mess. So tonight, I let go of the lie that says I have to prove my worth. I let go of the fear that says I'm forgettable. I let go of the ache of being overlooked. And I rest in the truth that I am fully seen, fully heard, fully cherished by the one who sees everything. Even when no one else notices, heaven does. Amen.
Closing prayer. I'm still here, and so is God. Dear God, I made it through the night. Not because it was easy, not because the pain disappeared, not because the storm passed, but because you stayed. You didn't fix everything, but you held me through it. You didn't silence the ache, but you sat with me in it. You didn't demand answers, you gave me presence. And maybe that's what carried me through. Tonight, I don't have a perfect faith, just a present one. I don't have clarity, but I do have breath. And that breath means I get to try again tomorrow. It means my story isn't finished. It means heaven still sees me, still hears me, still calls me beloved. So even though I still feel tender, still a little raw, still unsure of what's next, I'm here. And you're still here too. That is enough for now. God, thank you for not requiring my strength before you showed me yours, for not rushing me to heal before sitting with my hurt, for not asking me to perform before you offered peace. Tonight, I leave nothing eloquent behind. No great testimony, no miracle ending, just this. I showed up. I breathed. I prayed. And I let you in. And that is everything. Let the person listening now feel what I've begun to feel. The quiet truth that even in the tears, they are not alone. Let them sense that hope isn't gone, it's just quiet.
that healing isn't far, it's just slow. That you, Lord, have never moved. You're still holding us, still loving us, still whispering in the dark. I am here, always. And maybe that's all we ever really needed to know. Amen.